Hey everybody, it's Patty with Patty's Purse, and I wanted to do this kind of video for a long time, and since we're in January, and I've been focusing a lot this week on debt payment plan, having a debt payment plan on the debt that we owe. So a couple of years ago, I think it was, I want to say I'm going to say 3 years ago, we took out a HELOC, home equity line, kind of home equity loan on our home, to put in a deck around our pool. So to do some home repairs, as well as in order to get it, we, like many people, had to pay off debt. So we paid my husband's car off, which was a Toyota 4Runner. No, what am I talking about? It's not a Toyota Highlander. So we don't have a car payment on his car. And then we did pay off some credit cards, which we had to because to get that loan. Unfortunately, we used the credit cards after that fact. And it wasn't until maybe, I would say, I've always paid the minimum payment on the credit cards. And for those of you who are new and just starting to watch my channel, you know, or even the people who've been around for a little while now, you know that most, if not all, of our credit card debt minimum payments come out of my account or my paycheck, because I get paid weekly. So I was just starting to get like really frustrated, to be quite honest with you. I was really getting frustrated that I pay close to $1,000 a month in credit card debt for just minimum payments. So I've decided to change that. I've been listening to some Dave Ramsey. I like Dave Ramsey, but I've also been listening to some other YouTube influencers here, and just kind of listening on my way to work, listening on my way back from work, because I have a 15-minute drive, on the avalanche method, on the snowball method, on how, real people like you and I are trying to make ends meet in today's world. And unfortunately, sometimes that means using the credit card. So I have kind of come up with a plan. I kind of talked a little bit about it the other day, but then I spent an hour and a half by myself last night, and I came up with another plan, a continuation of the plan. My husband and I went for coffee tonight. We discussed it, and I am going to pay off 3 credit cards before the end of January. And I'm going to show you which ones those are. I'm going to show you how I'm going to pay them off, or how we are going to pay them off. And then I'm going to show you, what I've stopped as far as some very small savings, automatic savings, what I've stopped just for a little while, because I don't want to pay $1,000 a month anymore on minimum credit card payment. And I think once we, get rid of these 3 minimal, monthly payments, I'm going to feel a lot better. I'm going to feel like a weight comes off my shoulders. And I think that's just how, a small, whether you start small with an extra $25 a week on credit cards, or if you have a small balance and you start to pay that off first, I think I'm hoping that once the momentum of paying off those small loans happen, that it'll just keep us pushing forward to pay the rest, or put a lot more money toward those credit cards. Anyways, let's just jump right into it. So this is my budget by paycheck workbook, and this in the back here is the debt payment plan worksheet. Okay, so let's check it out. And I list these every month, usually by when they're due. A couple of them are out of date turn, but so Care Credit. So this is January. We're still in January, and I'm going to, just focusing on January right now. Okay. But I'm going to be very diligent about filling these papers out on a month-to-month basis. Care Credit gets paid on the 5th. The balance is $307,951, and the minimum payment due is $145. We've already paid that. So my PayPal credit card is due on the 8th for $26.68. Minimum payment is $91, so I paid that already. Torrid, I got some clothes at Christmas time, and it was due on the 3rd. The balance was $321.35. Minimum was $37. I paid $75. Lowe's credit card was due on the 12th, 25/31, a minimum payment of $92. That's what I paid. Discover was due on the 13th. I thought it was the 14th, so I didn't pay it, but we'll go back and pay it. The balance is $58.69, and that's going to come out of the business account. So that won't affect any of our joint account or my account. That'll be $118. So Capital One, that's mine. It's due on the 15th today. So the balance is $58.66.97, and I paid $150 out of my savings account, like where I just deposited some of that money, my side hustle money, plus $78 from my regular weekly paycheck. So it was a total minimum payment of $203. Amazon is due on the 18th. That's $28.28, and it's a minimum payment of $102, and I'll pay that $102 with this week's paycheck. American Express is due on the 20th. There's an overdue balance because I forgot to pay it last month, so I owe $267 at this point, and I will pay the $267. Old Navy is due on the 23rd for $19.37, and the minimum payment is $67.56. I'll probably pay a little bit more on that, and that's due next week. Big Lots is due on the 17th. Balance is $257.35, and the minimum is $37. I'm going to pay $140. So my husband's Capital One small card. We use this one for mostly business sometimes, but I'm going to add it here, just because I want like a total of what we owe in debt. So on credit cards, so that's $807. Minimum payment was $55, and that one, that's already been paid, but we're going to add another $25 at the end of the month. And now my husband's PayPal card, he, was looking to just kind of pay it over the next few months. So that was the minimum payment, the balance is $340. I had already paid $50 towards it, and I told him today to go ahead and pay the rest of it off. Was $369.80. So that one is complete. Now he has some extra money in his account for something else, but it's already been 4 months that he hasn't used that money for that other thing. So I said, you can make up the $400, just go ahead and pay it. And that's one of the things, if you listen to Dave Ramsey and other people, like if you have, you can, I believe you can save as you are paying debt. But I also believe that if you have money sitting there, like $300, $400, $500, because you want to use it for something else, and you still haven't used it for that thing, then I convinced him, take the $369 and put it toward this PayPal. Instead of sending $50 here and $50 there. It's a small amount. Let's get rid of it. So he did. I'm proud of him. But not without a little bit of he feels guilty that he took that money and put it into this a little bit. And I don't feel that way. I think let's get rid of these small balance credit cards. And that's what we're going to do. And we're going to do it by the end of January. And we're going to feel a big weight, a small weight, something. We're going to feel lifted. We're going to feel like we can do this, and we're going to do it. And, I can only do so much, but I can encourage him and say, hey, just think about it this way. These 3 cards that I'm going to talk to you about tonight will relieve $200 a month in a payment. To me, that's huge. So that $1,000 a minimum a month just got reduced to $800 in 1 month. We got this. We can do it. And then the other Capital One card that my husband has is due on the 19th, and that's a big balance as well. It's $45.58 with a minimum of $153. So we'll pay that on the 19th. So the total of all open balances on credit card is $34,000. I know, it's horrible. I get it. So this is my plan. I showed this paper the other day. And it's from, you can get it from Fancy Plans. She has a lot of freebies. Sign up for her newsletter. You'll get it every Friday, and she has some really good freebies, and that's kind of how I got this one. So I turned this like this, and I listed all our debt. So obviously have more than one page. So let me just go over debt 1 is Old Navy, debt 2 is my PayPal, debt 3 is his PayPal, Big Lots, Discover. They're all, then there's a second page with the others, okay? And up here, I'm just putting the date they're due, just so I know. Okay, now, over here, I put the monthly minimum payment, and I put these little amounts are the minimum monthly payments. Starting balances are here. And then at the end of the month for January, whatever we made in payments, we'll add it up and put them here, and then put the new balances here. So looking at my husband's PayPal, the minimum payment was $41 this month with a balance of $420. So I paid $50 this week on it, or last week, I think, and then he paid the rest, $419.80. We might just have a little bit of interest. I mean, it really shouldn't be that much, but we'll make sure we take a look at it by the end of January, just to make sure that we didn't leave any interest there, because we don't want that to stay there. We want to pay it off. So it's going to be 0. So I already put the 0 in here, and it's going to be 0. So that credit card is going to be done. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put a big check mark. Done. Paid off. And, it is what it is. I feel better about it. I'm not sure if he does 100%, but I certainly feel better about it. That's one we don't have to worry about. Now, keeping up with the momentum we have going here. Where is it? Okay. So, like I said, I had a Torrid card that I was purchasing new clothes with at the Christmas time. Here it is. The balance is $240. So I have been doing an Acorns account, which I was just putting $5 a week in for the last year, and I have $450 in there. And because we're in a new year, 2025, and anything I do this, January right now, won't affect my taxes till 2026. So I decided to take $250 out of that account, and I'm going to pay this Torrid card off. So as soon as I get that $250, I'm just going to slap it on here and call this a day. Zip. I'm going to zip it out. So that'll be PayPal, credit card, my husband's, and then Torrid will get paid off by the end of January. And that's my plan on how to pay it. Like where I'm giving you an idea of where I'm getting the money to pay it. And then the last one that we're going to do is also another small balance, $257 for Big Lots. The minimum payment is $37. And I've already paid $140 on it. I paid $140 today, right out of my paycheck, because I wanted to just get a jump start on it. So that'll leave me owing $117. If I can do it next week, I'll do it next week. Now, I have a lot of bank accounts, and I just was watching somebody this afternoon, also a YouTube influencer, that has a lot of bank accounts. I like to put $5 here, $10 here. The Acorns, I've been kind of building that up for a while. I have an M1 account. It's another investment account that I've had the same, $400 in it. Same thing. Just, I don't feel bad taking from them. I'm not going to do M1 just yet, because I think the 111 I can take from my check next week without a huge problem. I'm just determined to do this, and I'm going to get aggressive, and I'm going to get, it's going to relieve a lot of tension off my shoulders, and I know it. I know we can do it. I mean, these are small payments, right? So if you think about it, $420, $257, and $240. Sorry about that shake there. So that's $917 that is going to be paid off by January 31st. Now, if that doesn't give you a good, warm, fuzzy feeling, husband, then I'm not really sure he's even getting it. And that's how I feel. $917 completely wiped away, and we're not going to use those credit cards again. It is what I will leave it open because it'll help, Torrid and Big Lots will help my credit because it'll be zero and it'll help my credit and his as well. But we're not using them. I'm going to hide them. I'm going to, I might even get rid of the card. This is how we're going to pay debt off this year. We're starting with these three. So in February, we'll concentrate on, the next maybe 2 of them, because now we're looking at, obviously larger balances. We'll look at 2 more credit cards and put as much as possible as we can. Find as much as we could squeeze out of different accounts. Squeeze it out and put it into these credit cards. If we don't start doing this, if I just let it go and continue to make minimum payments, I can see myself just going crazy about it. It's really starting to bother me. And there's really no need for it. We make good money. We both make good money. We live, for the most part, we budget. I budget paycheck to paycheck. You know that because you've been watching my channel, and that's how I do it. And sometimes I can take money out of my paycheck and put it in my savings, savings envelopes and cash envelopes, etc. I work hard. I work a full-time job. I'm an office manager for a small construction company. I work hard. I do everything there, from payroll to, assisting with project management. And then I also have my side hustles. And I even work hard with those. Even though one of the towns, as you know, pays me late, I still get the minutes to them within 24 to 48 hours. So I need to take some of that money, and instead of spending it on me, which January was no spend Patty, and I did a couple of little things, nothing major. I need to take some of that money and put it toward these credit cards. It'll make my head feel a lot better. So if you've made it that far, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate the new people I've gotten on my channel lately. 14 people, 14 new subscribers. I appreciate you being here. However you can do it, watch as many videos as you can on how people are really getting excited to pay off debt. 2025, it's our year to pay off this debt. Thanks, everybody. Bye now.